Okay, so I think we're recorded, good to go. So if you haven't yet, make sure that you have some kind of writing utensil. So I'll kind of talk for a little bit, but I plan on this being kind of formatted. If you didn't know, I'm a middle school teacher, so we're gonna kind of format this how I might format one of my classes if I was doing an online class, which I had never gotten to do before. But I kind of want you guys to be thinking. I also have some slides that I'm gonna show you all that you guys can kind of bounce some ideas off of and things like that. So the reason why I am doing this call is it's kind of bouncing off of what Kat talked about last Tuesday, if you were on the call last Tuesday. And some of you all are brand new coaches, even from Tuesday. But Kat is a girl that is on our team in our upline. And she is a phenomenal, what you would call an attraction marketer. And so what that means is she doesn't really reach out to many people. She has like floods of women coming towards her that want to work with her. And I don't know about you all, but that is like the coach's dream. I was talking to her today and kind of bouncing some ideas off for this call. And she goes, oh, I'm at like Success Club 37 already this month. And I was like, what? But if you don't follow her, she's Cat Meets Kale is her page. And once you look at her page, you will totally get it. She has this phenomenal transformation. I think she's close to 100 pounds lost, like complete health transformation. She just has this very dynamic personality also. She's very God-centered and she's just a really cool person. So she attracts a lot of women who are just like her. So we're going to kind of focus on branding and how to hone in on who are those women and men that are going to be attracted to you, because I'm going to have very different women attracted to what I have to offer than what Kat has to offer. Just because we're two very different people, I don't have a huge physical transformation. Mine is more of a inner personal transformation. So she's going to attract a lot of different people. She's going to attract women who need to lose 100, 150 pounds. And so far, I haven't had too many women, unless they're people that I personally know, that have been interested in that. So we're going to kind of talk about that. The reason why this is such a focus is that we're in a relationship business, and you probably have heard me say that a million times, but people don't buy products. They buy from other people. So they buy from people that they love. They buy from people that they trust. So that is what you want to always be thinking about anytime that you post on your page or you're talking to someone, is you are trying to gain other people's trust. Because let's face it, I know you all are all trustworthy people. But when you're dealing with the public, I guess you could say, they might be questionable, especially with all of the different type of health stuff there is out there. Like there's a lot of things that we question. I'm sure you're even thinking of some companies in your head that you question and that you would never join and you would never try out. We want to show that you and Beachbody is a trustworthy company. And hopefully you all believe that for sure. So people will fall in love with you first and get emotionally connected to you, and then they will reach out before they buy anything from you. So I always think of it like I don't sell products. I sell this transformation of a life. So I sell hope that they can make a change in their life, whether that is a physical transformation or financial or even an inner transformation. So that's what you will probably notice if you go to my page. Rarely do I mention Beachbody. Rarely do I use the word Shakeology. Rarely, even when I'm talking one-on-one with someone, I rarely use the word Shakeology. I rarely use the word 21-day fix. I sprinkle it in every now and then, but I definitely try to sell the fact that I am on a journey and that you can join me on this journey. So that's kind of always in the back of my mind. So you are not a Beachbody coach. I know you might be thinking that. If on your Facebook page or anywhere you have that I am a Beachbody coach, I want you to take that down after tonight. You can say that you are a health and fitness coach. You are an online health coach, whatever it is. But I want you to try to get away from being a Beachbody coach, just because Beachbody has such name recognition out there already that I don't think that we need to throw it out there. There are 400,000 coaches. So that is why it is so important for us to hone in on what makes us special and makes us different from the other coaches. Okay, so I'm going to kind of share my slide, and you guys have seen this already a little bit, but it's going to show you a little bit more, and I'm going to kind of walk through how I got to this. I'm trying to figure out how to get to sharing my screen. Start share desktop. Okay, so thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yes, okay, all right. So here is your interactive part of what I need you guys to do. So I want you to start thinking, and you can kind of get started on this while I'm talking if you'd like to. But you have what's called, some people call it your niche market, some people call it your avatar. But basically, like, you have certain people that are going to be attracted to you and what you have to offer. And the more narrow you make it, the more people will be drawn to that. I will tell you, I have had women come to me that have very different goals for me, and it's very hard for me to help them out. It's very frustrating for both of us because I can't relate to them and they can't really relate to me. So I want you to think about, like, who would be your dream person that you would get to work with. And we're really going to hone in on who that person is. So you probably noticed already I have age. So for my avatar, I like women who are around 25, 26, all the way up to about 35. So I kind of took my age and added 5 years. It might be close to your age. It might be that you like working with older people. So Elena was talking about how, like, she has kind of this weird split where she has kind of older women and kind of younger moms. So take that into account. But most of the time, you're going to attract people who are a lot like you. So write that down. Gender, obviously, you probably are going to be working with people who are of the same gender as you. Values, like, what do people value? Like, for me, like, a lot of the women that I work with, they have kind of a Christian faith to them, but they also value health. And they valued health before they even got started working with me. I like working with people who have kind of dabbled with different stuff, but they can't quite figure out what they like to do. A lot of the women that I work with already work out also. So you probably notice in my pictures here, I like working with people who have women who have maybe 10 to 30 pounds to lose, just really want to tone up, kind of want to lose a little bit of love, but they don't have this drastic, huge transformation. So they've already maybe been working out a little bit. That's one of their values. I like working with people who value their family. A lot of the women I work with have a very selfless mentality, where the main reason they got into this was they kind of put themselves on the back burner. And I love kind of bringing them to that. Do they have any kids? How many kids do they have? What are the ages of their kids? Personality. So you probably see, like, I like people who, like, are just naturally positive people. I cannot work with other people who are negative all the time and, oh my gosh, poor me, I can't have that cake. Like, I just have a really hard time relating to people who are always, always negative and the world's out to get them. So I definitely like someone who has a bubbly personality, who believes they're kind of created for more. They're okay with being goofy. It always, like, kind of drives me crazy if I ask them to, like, post a workout selfie and they're like, oh, I don't like taking selfies. And I'm like, stop being so serious. Like, just be silly with me for a little bit. Like, come on, I'm not asking you to, like, do something crazy. All I'm asking you to do is just prove that you did your workout by taking a picture. Location. I didn't think that this was important, but, like, I like working with people who are like me. So kind of that Midwest girl type feel. Their goals. So this last one, the shops isn't that important, books that they enjoy reading, but definitely the goals and pleasures. So I told you that most of mine want to tone up. They want to add energy is huge for everybody. Most of everybody that I work with, their goal is they want more energy. because most of them are brand new moms is what I usually bring in. And then what are their pleasures? So what is it that they are wanting to get out of all of this? For me, like I was just talking about, the main pleasure that they're looking for is energy. They want something that's simple. They want something that works, that's going to get them results, like hallelujah, who doesn't want that for sure? And those types of things. So does anybody have anything that they kind of wrote down? And you don't have to share all of this, but kind of just a quick little synopsis of who it is. What are some notes that you all wrote down of people that you want to work with maybe? And you're welcome to take yourself off mute. I can't really see everybody while I'm screen sharing. So, and in my classroom, if nobody raises their hand, I just call on people. I'm that mean teacher, but I have good wait time also.
Yeah, I'm a teacher, so I'll just jump right in, I guess. A few things that I wrote down are for goals. A big thing I've been trying to focus on is just being comfortable in their own skin. It might be a different look for everybody, a different weight for everybody, but just to feel good about who you are. That was just one of them for me.
That's awesome. I love that you said that, Tricia, because I feel like that is one of the things when people talk about their goals with me. That's another thing that I hear a lot is, I just want to fit into clothes. I just want to fit into clothes, and I want to feel comfortable, and I want to kind of fall in love with myself again type feel. So that's cool. Okay, I wrote that down. We'll talk about some ideas for posts with that for sure. Okay, anybody else?
I'll share a little bit.
Okay, go ahead, Rebecca.
For personality, I just put kind of shy and introverted because I know I used to be like that. I'm not as shy as I used to be. But for me, that's kind of hard to get people to at least like reach out to me or want to at least start, this process because they are so shy. So it's like, I know it would help them a lot because it's helped me a lot, but I don't know how to kind of get them out of their shell to start with. So that's kind of somebody I want to work with, but I don't know how to get it going. So I don't know if you have ideas for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you do a really good job of showing that journey of I used to be this way and look at me now, like I'm the queen of videos all over my page, right? Like, so I think
I probably would have cried if you made me do a video like a year ago.
I love that. I love that.
It's not as bad now. But so I don't know how to, I try and post that a lot, like that journey, but it's kind of hard for me to get people to like actually like message me or reach out to me or like talk to me about stuff because they're just kind of shy about it. So
yeah. Okay, good. I wrote it down for sure. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So if I could go.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking kind of the opposite, actually. It's funny that you brought that up because I'm a really outgoing personality type. So like, I feel like I would fit in really well with people that like to chit chat a lot, talk about this and that, kind of want to share with me what their goals would be. Maybe someone that, really is looking for something that kind of fit like similar to myself, looking for something that'll fit into their schedule that, I work, 10 to 7. So I get off work and then I drive home 45 minutes. I don't get home till almost 8 o'clock and then I got to eat and I got to figure out when I can work out. So that kind of like-minded person, I think is, like prime for me. So.
Well, that's awesome for sure. So when you say outgoing, do you mean like you will just be like the center of attention type outgoing, or you always keep the conversation flowing? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, probably the second one. in certain situations, I'm good with being like center of attention, but I'm not that person that like needs to, have everybody's eyes on me. Cause I actually don't love that. Yeah. But I do like, meeting and working with people, talking with people. I really like that a lot, but a little bit more maybe one-on-one instead of like a big group of people, all eyes on me.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. That's good. Building relationships and being able to talk to people is pretty huge in this. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. That's the thing.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure if I needed like some kind of device. I'm sorry. But actually, I was going to agree with her because I'm like, I work long, weird hours, and somebody that has limited time to kind of share like time management in regards to health and planning and fitness. And I feel like I can relate to those people, and they maybe can relate to my craziness because I'm like all over the place. ADHD.
I love that because I have the squirrel syndrome also. I'm not very focused. I don't know how I'm a teacher, to be honest with you. Well, I just relate to middle schoolers because we're just always all over the place, I guess. Okay, I love that. I think that is huge. The time management with health and fitness, like that would be like just little time saving tips would be phenomenal, And I forget, I think it was Elena when you were talking about like, oh, I'll get the rest of my workout in. So it might be like, I've got 10 minutes here and 15 minutes here. So I did 10 minutes of my workout here and I did 15 minutes here. And just sharing that would be huge to people. So having that as a main focus, and yeah, you can sprinkle in other things, but how to make this work with, a busy schedule kind of all over the place and having a hard time focusing, that would be awesome. Okay.
That's usually what people will say. I don't have time. I'm like, yeah, you do. You really do. You can make time. I promise.
I love that. Okay. Anybody else want to share? We have other opportunities to share. So I might keep going then before we move on. Okay. So you guys probably noticed, we have 10 minutes. I've got to go. Okay. So, you guys probably noticed down at the bottom, then I have pain points, struggles, and objections. So if there's anything you get from this call, like this is huge, huge, huge. So take that same person, and honestly, like I like to name this person. So this girl over here, she's kind of a mix of these both. Her name is Jenna. So I think of any time that I post on my page, I'm talking to Jenna. Jenna is actually my best friend. And she is like my ideal person to work with for sure. And so I always think of like, if I was talking to Jenna, what would I say to her? And then I think of these other things, these pain points and struggles, and then we'll get to objections in a little bit. But think of that same person you were just thinking of, the person, and she was either outgoing or she has this crazy work schedule, or she's a new mom, or she's shy, or all she wants to do is just to feel comfortable. Like she's given so much of herself to everybody else. She's kind of lost herself in it. So what is her biggest pain points? Like, think about this. Like, when she goes to bed at night, what is she thinking about? What is she struggling with? Or Philip, what is he, like thinking about and struggling with in his life? And you might want to try to say, okay, so there's obviously a lot of things that they can be struggling with. Try to make it a little bit of health focused, just because that is kind of the business that we're in. But what are their main things that they stay up at night worrying about? Okay, so my person's pain points is just lacking energy to function in life. So lacking energy to hang out with their babies, like getting home from work and seriously just wanting to take a nap, not wanting to be engaged. Whenever their kiddos are playing, they're kind of sitting off to the side because they're so exhausted. So a lot of mine focuses around energy and then kind of confidence, so that, being a brand new mom, because a lot of my best friends are brand new moms, and so they struggle with the fact that the clothes that's in their closet doesn't fit them anymore. they're kind of living their life in yoga pants now, and they just want to get back into their old clothes, but they don't feel confident to get back into that. So think about what are their kind of pain points or struggles. Did anybody come up with have any ideas for any kind of struggles that they know that people that you love working with have or struggle with? Okay, this might have to be a call to action because it's really hard. So this might be something that I have you guys check in on later, for sure. I'm going to move on to my next slide, maybe. Okay, so you might be thinking, okay, well, that's great, but how does all of this help in your posting? So I'm going to go back to that people buy from other people. So you're building trust through telling stories. So I thought about like, okay, so if my person's struggle is energy and not feeling like they have the energy, what kind of stories do I have that can relate to that? So you've probably seen me post about this, but I used to, before I started drinking Shakeology, before I started eating cleaner, I've always been a workout fanatic, but before I started changing up my nutrition, I would come home and take a nap for an hour before I went to the gym. So I would come home at 4 o'clock, nap until 5 o'clock, and then I would go to the gym to work out. And it like killed me that I was so exhausted after a day of teaching that I needed to sleep for an entire hour just to go be active again. Now, I didn't quite realize that that activity would have given me the energy, but that's a story that I will tell quite often. And when I'm having conversations with people, I'll talk about that whenever. So I consider that kind of my Shakeology story because it kind of stopped once I started drinking Shakeology for sure. So you want to think about what stories do you have? What struggles have you gone through that will help you in your posting that people can relate to? And this doesn't have to be a huge, long, short story. It can be, just a couple sentences. This is what I used to be like, and this is how I am now because of whatever it was that caused that. So that's kind of what you always want to be thinking about is what is going to speak to this person that I'm trying to get to. Okay, so I'm down to about 5 minutes left. I should have sometimes I'll use my coach's account, and I forgot to do that tonight. So your call to action. What I do want, I'm going to add also that I want you guys to share at least one of the pain points. But I'm going to post in the group once I get this video up. And I'll probably actually post tonight. So if you want to think about that. But once I get this video up, I'm going to kind of remind you all of this call to action. So what I want you to do is kind of get clear on who it is that you want to work with. Like, most of the time, they're people that are kind of like you or people that are like your friends. And think about how do you talk to those people. If you all cuss, by golly, cuss a little bit on your page. If you all are, whatever you all say, I want you to talk to them. So I want you to very much get clear on who it is that you're working with. And make sure that you answer kind of those questions from that slide. I'll also include this slide in the thing, or these slides. Get clear on their pain and their pleasure points. So what is it that they really struggle with? What is it that they want to be fixed? And guess who's going to fix it? You are. Like, you're going to be the one who has the solution to whatever their pain point is. And then also think about what is their pleasure. So what makes them most excited? One of my pleasure points of why I became a coach was the possibility of this being full-time whenever I have kids. Like, that is what drives me more than anything in this business. Like, that is what I wake up thinking about every single morning. So that is a pleasure point for me. So you'll see me post about that, even though I'm very tricky about that because I don't like putting it out there too much because I still love teaching for sure. But that's example of a pain and a pleasure point for sure. So if you take this challenge, what I'd like for you to do is to spend, if you have a Pinterest, I want you to spend 15 or 20 minutes on Pinterest. I want you to just be searching And you might have some of these things already. All of these pictures I already had pinned, so I just had to go through my boards and figure it out. But I want you to include a photo of your ideal challenger. And this might seem crazy, but I want you to name him or her, okay? And Philip, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. I'm not doing this. I would challenge you to do it. I guarantee even Mr. Trey, I'm going to send you a video actually of a call that we did with a dude that you're going to love. But anyways, so what do they look like, you know? And this is kind of my ideal afterwards kind of girl. I couldn't find any pictures too much of. Pay attention to the colors. So these are all colors. They're very light and bright. And you'll notice my page is very light and bright. Pay attention to the fonts. When I pick these out, I notice, oh my gosh, all my fonts are kind of scripty and black. So that's the fonts that I use if I'm putting stuff on pictures. And then is there a style? Like I notice my style is very simple, kind of plain, nothing too crazy going on. So I'm going to ask that you guys focus on that. And I can kind of give you some hints of how to put the pictures together in text if you want the text. But that is kind of your, yes, Philip, Mr. Trey, he's awesome for sure. But I want you guys to create kind of your brand vision board of who is this person that you want to work with. And I have this picture, I have this on my desktop because I like to be able to see her and talk to her anytime I'm posting for sure. Okay, so I have no idea how much time we have left. It says less than a minute. Does anybody have any questions or things that they want clarified on kind of getting focused in on who you're talking to in your brand?
I love the vision board idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good to kind of just get this. I'm a visual person, so I love seeing it and being able to like talk to her instead of just like, I'm talking to everybody. Let's be healthy.
Helps you narrow down. Yeah.
That probably won't work for sure. Alrighty, since we're gonna get kicked off anyways, I'm actually gonna end, and we can always continue this conversation another time. But I love those that shared. I might ask some of you all to share